want to put water on each side. My name is Marla and I'm 11 years old and I'm going into year 5.
Last year was tough for Sydney student Marla O'Brien, who missed several months of grade 4.
Mum, can you get a plate? Yep. It was really stressing because I felt like I couldn't go because I was starting to not really breathe because I used to have really bad panic attacks and I just couldn't get myself there and I was like, oh my God, I can't really go to school, what's wrong?
It impacted our family through a fair chunk of last year, a fair chunk of 2022 off the back of COVID. And it manifested in my daughter having, quite extreme anxiety, panic attacks when it came to going to school that would sometimes last days or weeks.
Research suggests up to 5% of children experience what's known as school refusal, and teen-focused mental health service Reach Out reports it's in the top 4 concerns of Australian parents.
For a working parent who is also running their own business, a very busy business, to have a child with school refusal is unbelievably difficult because it's not only obviously the disruption on your work day and having to cancel meetings or reschedule things because you need to deal with the kind of anxiety and the trauma that's happening at that time, but it's obviously the emotional load as well.
School refusal is a really critical problem for the children and young people that it impacts because it can have lifelong consequences. We know that success at school is a predictor for success later in life in so many ways.
Greg Elliott oversees student wellbeing at 80 schools in the Catholic Diocese of Parramatta.
There's a big difference between students who won't go to school and students who can't go to school. And essentially, that's the difference between truancy and school refusal.
There's no data available on national school refusal rates. A Senate inquiry has been established to examine the issue and reports due next month.
Jab, cross, hook, hook, one more. Jab, cross, hook, hook. Add a slip.
For 15-year-old Mark Catchpole, learning to box hasn't just helped him get fit and make friends, it's changed his life.
Cross, whip, hook, cross again. Jab, cross, slip.
I was having trouble making new friends, and this group helped me make new friends. It helped me get more confident with making new friends and talking to people.
Yeah! Good work.
I know what it's like to have a tough time with other kids who...
Victoria, where Mark lives, has the country's highest school attendance rates, but school refusal is on the rise. Last year, almost 12,000 students refused to go to school at some point.
I think, like a lot of kids who have anxiety, often the reason is that he wasn't feeling socially connected at school.
In Melbourne, John Chellu runs a clinic for children and teenagers who refuse to go to school.
I would say referrals have tripled, doubled or maybe even tripled since the pandemic. And so school refusal is a symptom of that general increase in youth mental health problems in the community.
Mark has been attending John's school refusal program and is now doing much better. The program has a focus on outdoor physical activity alongside traditional counselling.
I think his understanding about himself has improved, and I think his confidence making and keeping friends has certainly improved.
We do activities together and have fun and talk to each other. This group helped me making new friends and talking to people. I think I'm really excited for school.
Educator Greg Elliott says the key is addressing the problem as soon as it emerges.
We have a whatever it takes strategy. That might mean adjusting their program, sometimes really radically, that we might reintroduce people into school half an hour at a time, that we would have people that they have from their friendship group ready to meet them, perhaps even at the drop-off zone to walk them into school.
For Marla's mother Yolanda, it was all about trying to make the prospect of going to school as appealing as possible.
So the big thing that helped with Marla to really crack through the fear and anxiety was 2 things. The first thing is, how do you create enough of an incentive to actually get to school? So making home boring is a really important part of the recipe. They've got to feel like staying home is worse than going to school. And then the other part is how do you actually stage the experience so you don't go straight back into a full day of school, but you stage it with 2 hours and then you come home, 3 hours, then you come home.
And so far, it appears to be working.
You can do this. You do hard things. I'm feeling more braver each day. This year I'm going to manage it by just walking in, have a little bit of a cry, put my phone in the office and just have a little bit of a cry, calm down, play a game, and then go into the class and do the rest of the day.
There is another side to this, and that supporting our kids to do hard things is a really important part of their growth and development. We have big hopes for the school year ahead. Marla's going into year 5 this year. Our hope is, and her hope is, that she can get to that place most of the time, if not all the time, where she really enjoys being there, she enjoys learning.